everybody, it's Shaw Blackburn, the Loon Witch here, and today is January 7th, 2022, so it's the first Friday of January in 2022. Welcome to our new Tarot Chat and Munch. So, in 2021, the first Friday of every month, I did Tarot Chat and Munch, and I took excerpts of my Learn the Tarot class, so that you could learn how to read the tarot for free over the course of a year in these little 15 to 30-minute videos. If you didn't get the opportunity to follow along on all the classes, if you're a member of the Enchanted Forest Spiritual Wellness Center Mighty Network, then you have access to all those videos through the Tarot Study Group Circle. The links are all there. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's important for you to know that the links to the videos start out as public because they are scheduled, and then they stay up for anywhere from 1 week to a month. Then they go to unlisted, so you don't have access to them anymore unless you're a member of the network. And if you want to join, because you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, wait, what is this amazing Enchanted Forest Network? It is Enchanted Forest SWC.com, and it will take you right there. Right now, all the memberships are free. The Tarot Study Group Circle is a free component within our network, so that's that. So today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my tarot journey and how I got started. It's funny, I hear a lot of people thinking that the tarot is it's so easy to make money doing tarot readings. And most of you who know me know that I am an internationally known psychic. I have clients in 18 countries around the world, which is so amazing. I'm so blessed that that's my truth. Someday, maybe I'll have clients in every country worldwide, although sometimes doing phone readings with people in far-off lands, the timing and scheduling is very challenging. For example, New Zealand is 18 hours ahead of us, and I believe right now, because we're not on standard time right now. I can't remember which is and which isn't standard time. They might be 19 hours ahead because maybe we are on standard time. So that makes things really challenging and a lot of struggles on both sides with myself and my clients to get those meetings scheduled. But we always manage. So I have been, I'm going to make myself feel really old. I've been reading the tarot actively and professionally since I was 18. Just scared myself a little. I did my first psychic fair when I was 18. That was a long time ago. And when I first bought a tarot deck, I was 16. The first tarot deck I ever bought, this is a replica of the first tarot deck, but the first deck I ever bought was the Aquarian Tarot. And I sold that deck quite a few years ago now, maybe a decade or more ago. It never really spoke to me. It always just annoyed me. And it was a regular sized tarot deck. The cardstock was really thick, so it was really hard to shuffle them always. And, so I have a lot of stretch in my fingers. My fingers are probably the most limber part of my entire body because I've shuffled so many different sized cards. Anyway, after I'd sold the deck, I didn't miss it right away, but at some point later on, I did start to miss that deck and the struggles that I had with it, and just working through teaching myself how to read the tarot was a huge challenge, but I learned so much and I developed such an intimate relationship with my cards. That's why I teach my class the way that I do. And so when I found out that it came out in a tin size, I bought the tin because I said, wow, they're so cute and they're so little compared to a traditional tarot deck size. These are more like, playing card size. So they're much easier to handle. And even though a lot of times this deck still doesn't really speak to me, I find the artwork to be a little bit weird, but it was, you know, when I went shopping, I wasn't necessarily looking for a tarot deck. I just happened to be, I found that deck, and the Aquarian Tarot and the Rider-Waite Tarot were next to each other on the shelf, and there was pretty much no other choice. So I bought the Aquarian. I've never really been a fan of the Rider-Waite, although somewhere I do have one Rider-Waite deck, and I think I bought it because I didn't own it, and I think everybody on planet Earth that works with the tarot starts with that deck. So I've had a lot of students ask me how come I didn't own one. I just never, I don't know, I just never really wanted it. But I do have one now, and still don't use it. So I have about 200 decks. I am a pretty avid collector, and I love going through Kickstarter and looking at what people are developing and how they see the tarot differently. So if you've taken a class with me, or if you watched any of the videos, you know that I tell people all the time, when you want to read the tarot, when you want to learn how to read the tarot, the thing that you want to get rid of, not necessarily get rid of, just hold it aside someplace. But the thing that you don't need to start learning is the little booklet that comes with your deck. Every deck comes with this little booklet, and the little booklet explains to you the basic idea of what the card represents. My problem with the little booklet is if you rely on this book, or if you rely on anybody else's tarot book with the meanings of each card, you may struggle to develop your own personal relationship with the tarot. And that's the thing. You know, some of the older original tarot decks that are replicas from the 1400s don't have a lot of imagery on what's called the pips, which are your minor arcana cards. This is the IJJ Swiss Four of Cups. We're going to talk about the Four of Cups today. And as you can see, there's not a lot of detail. There's 4 cups, and there's not really the Roman numeral 4. There's 4 little eyes. I'm going to pretend that that's the Roman numeral 4. So you know that it's 4, and you know that it's 4 cups. And there's some leaves around in there, and some grapes around in there. But it's not a real detailed image. On the other hand, when you look at the 4 of Cups from the Aquarian Tarot, this is a completely different look, right? When you look at this image, you see that there's a person here, they're holding on to a cup. Well, you can't see that they're holding on to a cup. You can see a 4th cup coming out of the clouds. There's 3 cups already here. So when you look at that image, your mind already starts to create a scenario that this image could represent. And this is, it's not a negative image, it's not necessarily the happiest image, but this is the image that you're going to start looking at. When you look at this, you see a story here. I hope that you see a story here. When you look at this, you may not see a story, but the meaning of the card is the same. So when you're looking for a tarot deck to start learning, you want to look for a deck where you're able to see some of the images and understand, like, is this going to speak to me? Is it going to resonate with me? We have such a blessing of being able to have all these online resources. And you can really look at a lot of cards online and see almost the full deck. And then if you go to like Pinterest or Instagram and things like that, you'll see people have pictures of these tarot decks. And that really helps you to understand, like, yeah, I really like that deck, or nope, I'm not going to buy that deck at all. This is the White Sage Tarot, and this is the 4 of Cups in the White Sage Tarot, right? So there's 3 cups pouring into the one larger cup. Now, if you look at these 2 images, even though they're different, you can see that this story is pretty similar, right? The only thing that's really missing is the cup that's kind of coming out of nowhere, and the person that's kind of sitting under the tree going, should I imbibe in that 4th cup, or should I just let that go? But both of these images give you a story. to start with. And that's what reading the tarot is mostly about. So in my tarot journey, I taught myself to read the tarot, and it's from my own teachings that I developed the class that I teach. And what I learned is that it's important for you to build a relationship with the tarot yourself. Let them give you the story. Let them open your mind's eye, your imagination, your intuition, to share with you the intimacies of the story of someone's life, right? And I believe that everyone is born psychic, and it's just a matter of if we are open to it and continue working with it, or if we shut ourselves off to it and decide it's not really for me. I don't want to follow that path. You know, and sometimes our parents, when we're little, or our friends in school, or our teachers, will not knowingly suppress our intuition. It's not out of meanness or spite. A lot of times it's out of misunderstanding or fright. And sometimes it could be out of jealousy. You know, they see that you have a gift that's unique, something that maybe they wanted and couldn't find for themselves, or couldn't understand how to open to it and use for themselves. But you can get it back. You can reactivate that psychic ability. Once you stop working with it, it doesn't just completely go away. It only completely goes away when you repeatedly tell yourself that you're not psychic, you don't have good intuition. When you say those things, you're pushing that psychic ability and that intuition further and further away from yourself, and telling yourself, no, you're manifesting that negative thought process, you know? So we don't want to do that. The other thing, I mean, I was nervous as anything doing readings for the first time, but I was lucky in that when I started reading, my very first deck of cards was called the Gypsy Witch Fortune Telling Cards, which I may haul out in one of our future Tarot Chat and Munches. We'll see. I don't know. But that's an interesting, it's a playing card deck, and it's got little images and a lot of tiny, tiny words. And as you can see, I wear glasses, so I have vision issues. I need some aid to help me see properly. And I never read all the information that was on those cards. I just looked at the image, and I looked at what the playing card was, and that's how I would tell people's fortunes. I never got a book with it or anything. It had like this little weird, and I think it still does the same thing, it had this little weird fold out paper that explained nothing. So I created my own spread, and I would tell people's fortunes. I would do readings for them, and I started that when I was 12. So that's a really long time ago now. I started that when I was 12. But I wouldn't say I did that professionally. I started one summer. I did a lot of readings for the neighbors. Really enjoyed it. This happens to be every time I do a video. I yawn. I don't know why. And then the following year, when I was 13, I did charge money for it, because people came back and they were like, oh, can I get another reading from you? And I was like, haha, yes, you can, but now it's going to cost you. Right. And because I worked with them for a year, I'd gotten more comfortable with them. I felt more confident. I had this reading spread that I did, and I read with the Gypsy Witch fortune telling cards for people into my 20s, easily into my 20s, because my son was really little and I was still reading with them. But I switched over to the tarot at 16, because tarot was kind of like the thing, right? And I thought, oh, I'll start reading the tarot. It should be easy. Nope. I got that deck. I started looking through, and, you know, and I was like, I don't even know what that means. What that means. What that means. And every time I looked at a card, I was like, what are you trying to tell me? And so that's what I did. I would open up the book. I would go through the little book, and I would be like, okay, hold on. Let's see. The Four of Cups is blah, 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 blah. That's no way to do a reading. If you have to stop, hold while I look it up. you're not exercising any part of yourself except your fingers to shuffle those cards, right? And it's important, if you're going to read the tarot, to build a relationship with the tarot. The tarot should be your close friends, your confidants. They've got all the secrets of the universe are right here in 78 cards. You know, you have access to everything if you just learn how to unlock that intuition. So, I thought that would be a good way to start off the year. Um, that's all I got for now. And we're going to do this again next month. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next month, but if you would like me to talk about something specific relating to the tarot, then I think that you should email me, loonwitch@gmail.com, or you should post a comment in the chat on YouTube if you're watching it on YouTube. Post a comment on the Enchanted Forest Spiritual Wellness Center Mighty Network if you're watching this through there, and let me know what you'd like to learn, what you'd like to hear about, and I'll be happy to create something just for that. Sitting here put my 3 decks of cards away. And if not, maybe we'll start looking at different spreads, because last year we did a single card pull, 3 card easy peasy, and I think we did the Celtic Cross spread. So maybe we'll start looking at some other different spreads, and I'll break it up over a couple of months so that you can see what the spread layout looks like. We'll talk it through, and then we'll do a reading with it. All right. Happy Friday. Happy 2022. We made it. It's a new year. It's a new world. Every day is something new. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thanks so much, and be well.